It's Julie. Just coming at you. It's been an interesting week. My mom and Carrie and Shay are down in Florida. Um, just Carrie had gone down there. She had made a plan to go down there and spend like a week or whatever, or a few days, and Shay, of course, was going to go with her, and then she apparently had asked like a friend or two of hers to go and nobody could, so she asked mom if she wanted to go. So it's been just dad and I for like the past few nights. They get back on Friday morning. um but yeah, so I just wanted to pop on and tell you guys things are going fine. Fingers crossed. Dad and I haven't killed each other or anything like that. As a matter of fact, Dad's worked most every single day this week, and I've had the car, so which is good and leads into a nice segue because I've been playing lots of Wizards Unite and a little bit of Pokemon. Although, to be honest with you, Pokemon has kind of become a little less interesting. I mean, they kind of come out with new features. Like right now, they have a feature where you can pick like a Pokemon to be your buddy, and they can go around with you. Well, now actually, your Pokemon can actually walk around the screen with you when you're in the game. And you have to feed him, play with it, which basically just involves rubbing it on its head and, giving it a pet and stuff like that. And then it'll find you things and bring you things, and stuff. So it's fine. It's okay. And I still work on like the research and stuff, but I'm not as gung ho as I used to be. But now Wizards Unite on the other hand, and this is what I wanted to show you guys, is I'm just opening up my phone, and we go to if you can see it, we go to the Wizards Unite app, which is right there, and just press it, and we are in the middle of two different events right now. We're in part 2 of the Brilliant event, which basically has to do with like Dumbledore and stuff like that, stuff relating to like Harry Potter's time at Hogwarts, which I think is kind of interesting because in this version of the game, Harry, it's like it takes place in the future, so to speak. So Harry's like an adult and he's working as an orc for the Ministry of Magic. And the basic the basic premise of the game is that there's this thing called the Calamity, and we don't know much about it yet. But this thing with the Calamity and is putting up all these, like if you can see on the screen, see it's like got all these little symbols which represent different things from the wizarding world. And we have one right here. This is for magical sports and games. And so you have like your daily task, and then you have your tasks that are like you have to find like I'll do my best to try and let's click on this one. I'm gonna let you see what comes up. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I can't find it. Oh, there he is. He's over here. So it's the Goblet of Fire from one of the games, from one of the books. The book with the Triwizard Tournament and all that, where Harry ends up getting caught up in the... where Voldemort comes back at the end and is like, I've got you now, Harry Potter. So what you have to do is you have to draw symbols on your phone that do like different spells, like I'm doing Embublio, which basically encases whatever you're trying to catch in a bubble. So like we got the Goblet of Fire and we got like 2 pixies. So I just got the 2 pixies in bubbles. And then what you do is it pops up at the end and tells you you have to catch so many of them. And then it gives you points toward leveling up in like different categories. And then it gives you XP too. Now, the thing that I find super duper exciting is right now they have, because a while back we had a 3-hour event where dragons were introduced. And so now we have an event. So now the dragons have come back. Okay, so we got another blah 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 Goblet of Fire. And the Goblet of Fire was interesting in Harry Potter because like everybody of a certain age would like put their name into the Goblet of Fire. And then you would pick names. And you could, people who would be able to compete in the tournament. So, because usually what'll happen is it'll be a foundable, which is what they call the object. And it's like a memory of the object or whatever. So anyway, what will happen is the object will pop up and then there'll be some sort of hindrance to it. Like, in the Goblet of Fire, it's 2 pixies who are messing around with it, trying to knock it over and stuff. And then, here we go. And then we have these things called oddities. And I just got a dragon. The dragons are interesting because they'll always fly up toward like the top of the screen. And you have to follow like their pattern. Like this guy will dip really low. And I got him. So I wish you guys could see it. little bit better. But like if there's a dragon, that's the category he's in. And then it gives you XP for it. And then it tells you like how many you have. Like I have 5 out of 10. So I need 5 more of that particular dragon. Oh, and the other thing that I find really cool is they have what they call, you have your daily assignments, which is basically pick up something on the map and you get spell energy from that. You have to go visit 2 inns and you get spell energy and gifts and stuff from that. But we've got 2 different kinds of special assignments. I don't know if you guys can see this, but we're at level 2 out of 4, and all I have left to do is to open 2 port keys, and you use that by walking or even just moving. And one thing I do want to say, if you're playing this game, turn on your location. Like, I know that a lot of times, especially if you're younger, your parents are going to be like, don't turn on your location. You don't want people to be able to track you and all that. But if you're playing the game, at least, turn on your location. Because that way it'll track your steps. You'll get because every day you have walks a certain amount of kilometers. And so they've got that. And then, they've got these things, too. Like, right now, I'm almost done. I just need 1 more dragon. And then the other 2 I've got to finish are for wizarding challenges. And what I like about, the wizarding challenges is, when you do the wizarding challenges, a lot of times for, the special events or whatever, they'll be fight 30 foes. So they count it by foes. Where usually, when you go to a fortress, you pick, and it goes from, easiest, level 1 to, or ruins level 1, and then it goes through the ruins, and then you get to tower, and that's tower level 1, tower level 2, and goes on from there. I haven't gone beyond tower level 5. I tried a tower level 5 by myself the other day, and I got my bottom handed to me. So, to put it nicely. And the enemies will get harder as you go. And there are certain kinds of enemies that you only find in fortresses. And sometimes in oddities. They have the Arachnotulas, which are the spiders, like Aragog and stuff. And they have, the Dark Wizards, they had the Basilisk back around Halloween, which I thought was really cool, because it's just this big giant snake. And the closest thing they have to it now, which I've been getting a lot of recently, is the Horned Serpent. Which is kind of funny because it's an Ilvermorny thing. And the character that I've created for Harry for a Hogwarts story I'm kind of working on. Her name is Rose. Rosemary Redclaw. Call her Rose for short. But that's her house. She started out at Ilvermorny because she's American. And then in the story I'm writing, she's gonna end up going to Hogwarts, being transferred over there. And so I just think that's super cool. And I also really like because whenever a new event starts, or sometimes when you get a certain something that fills out a page, you'll get like somebody popping up and being like, Bruce, I remember when, and it's just like, it feels like, your character is actually in the game versus just, you playing it. So, anyway, I really like it. It's a really interesting game. The only thing is it eats up your battery. So, make sure you have a good battery. A good phone with a good battery and lots of space. And it also helps if you have like a little mini charger. I bought one a while back and I love it. I just plug it in when I'm getting ready to go out and go hit fortresses, or I'll plug it in when I'm in my car on getting ready to head home from work, because that's when I usually stop and do my dailies, because there's fortresses on the way and there's inns on the way and greenhouses and all that kind of stuff. And greenhouses are fun too, because you can actually like pick ingredients for to make potions with, and you can actually grow ingredients. So you can like pick like a leaping toadstool to grow, and then you can like leave some spell energy on it to help it grow faster, and then somebody else stops by after you've started it, they can keep it going. They can keep the plant growing, and then eventually it'll leave the greenhouse, and then you'll find it just on the ground in the area. So I really like this game. It does a really good job of keeping things interesting. Whereas like Pokemon, it's just kind of something I do occasionally. And it's not really, like, a lot of the research is just stuff that I don't normally do. And so, but, I don't know. I guess I'm just more interested in, like, Wizards Unite stuff than I am in Pokemon. I mean, Pokemon is fun, and it's fun to collect all of the cute animals, I guess they are, kind of thing. But it's cute to learn about them and find out what they do and who they are and all that. But again, it doesn't really get into the lore. Whereas the Harry Potter game definitely gets into the lore. And for a while, we were getting a lot of backstory on what I would call their main suspect. They have this one guy who lost his wife. His wife was out fighting something with a group of 5, and the 5 just vanished. They just disappeared. And so this guy, one of the last things he said was that she's still out there. I know she's still out there, and I'm going to find her. And he quit his job at the ministry. He basically made it his life goal to find his wife and get her back. And so for a while it was like we were getting clues that popped up constantly as far as like oh, this person, oh, this is, we think it's this guy because of this, or we think it's this guy because we found these spells in his possession and stuff. And meanwhile, I'm sitting over here going, he could have been set up. Maybe it's just all the mysteries I've read over my years, but I just kind of tend to think that the first suspect normally isn't the person who's done the deed, so to speak. But yeah, so it's interesting. It's very interesting, and so yeah, so I like it, and I would definitely suggest, if you have a good phone, if you have a good memory, if you have an adaptable charger that you can just plug in and go, I would get this game. It's good. Like I said, it eats up a lot of memory, it eats up a lot of battery space, but if you've got that covered and you're interested in a game with really good story, but that it doesn't just dump all the exposition on you, it's kind of taking the same thing as the books, where it's like, here's a little bit here, and here's a little bit here, and here's a little bit here. I would say go for this game. Not to say there's anything wrong with Pokemon, but I would say that the Wizards Unite game is my favorite. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to upload this video probably later tonight. I'm gonna go check on Church and Phoebe, my sister's cats, and I'm probably gonna go get some snacks and stuff for tonight, because I have tomorrow off too, and you know, at least get a bottle pop. So, but yeah, I hope you guys are having a great week, and keep going, keep doing what you're doing. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.